have you in this workshop, sir. I'm very much thankful to Times Group as a whole for their uh, wholehearted willingness to associate with this workshop. Um, so you are most welcome. So we are expecting basically how the technology is basically being used uh, in the journalism domain. So most of the audience are from computer science background. There are few people from media as well. So I think your talk will be correct blend to satisfy the entire audience. So most welcome, heartful welcome to you, sir. Over to you, Farooq Beg.
Thank you for the introduction, and thank you to my our BCCL management also for giving me this opportunity to be with you today with this topic, artificial intelligence in journalism. So, good morning to all participants. I welcome you all to this session where we'll be exploring this the opportunities of artificial intelligence in journalism. My presentation is focused on why news organizations are interested in artificial intelligence. How is AI being used in journalism? What are the challenges ahead as news companies implement, drive, and structure for this technology? I will touch upon what we have done in BCCL Times Group with AI in newsroom and what other news organizations across the world have implemented so far. We will then look at various use cases of AI in journalism and finally sign off with some AI tools which hold a lot of promise for future, as well as we'll discuss the dark side of these easily available AI tools being misused to create deepfakes as it becomes freely available. We will also see how the technology and journalists can collaborate now and in future. So let us deep dive into each one of them. To begin with, let us understand what is AI. It is an umbrella term for technologies that mimic humans by utilizing large amount of data and learning from an experience, adjusting behavior with new inputs, and accomplishing human-like tasks. This technology is being explored in all walks of life. Every process that has been digitized enables us to collect data points, which is the information about that activity. This information data, when massaged with the help of data analytics and intelligent tools like ML, which, which that is machine learning, and NLP, that is natural language processing, helps us automate and mimic human intelligence in the respective activities. Let us see why news organizations are interested in AI. According to a recent survey, the topmost reasons are: number one, to make journalists work more efficiently, and number two, to deliver relevant and verified content to their readers and audience. The survey points to assisted use of AI for the journalists. It is more towards automating their manual tasks. Actually, nowhere AI is being considered to be employed as a direct replacement to creative human journalism. Based on the findings of the survey, the key interest area, as we understand today, for use of artificial intelligence in journalism are listed below the bar chart. We will see these one by one. Let us deep dive into the assisted news gathering tasks and see what this technology can do in this area. Let's take the first subtopic, social media sensing. Today, the source of information is not limited to the news agencies. There is a vast information constantly breaking on social media and internet. It is humanly impossible to track and monitor what is breaking where. AI tools are mature enough today to do this job and help journalists. It is a process. Semantic discovery is a process where some entities, documents, web content, services are browsed or searched with a specific consideration of their meaning in a certain domain of human knowledge. For instance, one may semantically search for annual management report file in contrast to searching for a doc file, which is a pure syntax-based search. The third point is trending. AI tools are also very mature in finding out the top trending stories on various channels of social media and internet. They can push trending stories to journalists on the go and the journalists sitting in the newsrooms to grab their attention. Competition watch. In a highly competitive world, when everyone is competing to put out the breaking story first, AI tools can also help keep a close watch of what their competition is doing and ensure that you do not miss anything, you are not caught napping. Detecting fake news. One of the main concerns of news breaking on digital channels is the probability of the news being fake. AI tools help to do a quick check on the facts in real time and alert you by flagging it as either fake or reliable. This helps publishers to carry authentic, verified, and credible news. These are the three use cases I have listed here. Let us look at each one of them in real world, which are used by the news agencies and the leading publishing houses. Here is the first use case of how Associated Press has used the AI tool NewsWhip to automate their news gathering process. Let's have a look.
So let's talk about NewsWhip. We're using that in two ways. Firstly, to surface trending stories and content that we might want to follow up on, but also to track the use of AP content by our customers around the world. Our trending desks are using Spike to discover stories that are going viral so we can begin the news gathering and reporting process much earlier than previously. We're also using it to look at signals for things that we might want to do to our own content. Sometimes we've only done a short story and Spike will tell us that there's so much interest we should be doing more on it.
We're all about content intelligence. We're all about providing insights on the content that's really making an impact in the area that matters to you. We're showing you the shooting stars. What are the actual pieces of content? What are the actual stories, Facebook posts that are really making an impact that I should be aware of and that I might be able to leverage?
We're using it to determine what customers like, what they might want more of, and perhaps what we can do less of in terms of our own coverage.
For journalists, they're saving a huge amount of time in content discovery. So hours every day are being saved by being able to understand what is likely to resonate with audiences today. In the past, they would have gone through processes of looking at competition websites, looking at various social platforms to understand what direction they should go in. All of that now is housed within our platform to allow them to make very fast, data-driven decisions.
Wasn't that interesting? So here is the second use case from Reuters news agencies. They call their AI app as News Tracer.
Reuters News Tracer is a capability that we've developed that finds events that are breaking on Twitter. It assigns them a newsworthiness score so you can focus on the things that are important. And the real magic of it is that it then gives a confidence score about how likely it is that those events are true. And this is really critical because the landscape of news has changed dramatically.
Over the last almost 1 decade, we have seen an increasing amount of news events unraveling first on social media. In some ways, we can say that social media has actually disrupted the news industries, and journalists do need to tap into that information and signal that's available in social media. So the mission really was to tap into the social media content to figure out what really are the news events and present them in a timely manner as soon as possible, effectively getting rid of all the spam, the noise, and only harnessing the signal or the news events that are important for our journalists and eventually our customers.
One thing we've found is that it's been very good at finding certain types of events much more quickly. It's been very helpful. It lets us start getting on a story much more quickly. What's great about this partnership is that to be able to take a fire hose of information that comes in at 140 characters and not much more than that, and then to be able to sort of say, when this is newsworthy, you should look at it, and then to say, this may well be true, that I think is a really interesting place to be.
And finally, this one from Data Miner which quickly responds to major events related to incidences while scanning social media. Let's have a look at it.
Social media is omnipresent. Worldwide, social media usage continues to climb. There are 17 services that reach over 250 million users each. And it's not just regular people. Twitter's official sources include 83% of world leaders. There have even been tweets from astronauts in space. At the same time, imagine the resulting cacophony. 6,000 tweets per second, 350,000 a minute, 500 million a day, 200 billion tweets per year. As the chatter generated by the world's population increases exponentially, new technology provides us with the ability to discover important events as they occur and get them to the right people in real time. Take an example, an earthquake in Puebla, Mexico. Consider who needs help, what's been damaged, and how about the financial impact? Today, we can leverage publicly available information and cutting-edge technology to find critical events in the volume of information. Knowing sooner means acting faster to solve problems in real time.
So advantages that these assisted news gathering tools provide to journalists and newsrooms are speed to help identify breaking trending news as it happens, scale to search the huge amount of information in real time across various channels, insights to help us identify fake news, semantic analysis, grading of content, apply different metrics to the content on its virality and plagiarism checks. Now let's deep dive into the next area of interest where AI helps us, namely producing the content for newsroom. Once the content is searched and made available to the journalist for consideration, the next big challenge is to enrich gathered content to the style, flavor of story writing and culture of specific newspaper or media company as a whole. The first one, generate relevant and engaging content. The story is sorted, graded based on metrics of relevance, and if need be, the story is enriched based on the requirements and the destination platform where it is going to be delivered. The second sub-point is ANLG, which stands for Advanced Natural Language Generation. This is again an AI tool which can automate content writing based on structured data input. This means if the data is in rows and columns or in structured databases or files, etc., narratives out of it can be generated. The tool improves with usage and time, and the output nearly matches human attempts. With ANLG, huge amount of time and efforts are saved by the journalists who earlier used to write a story through manual data analysis. Without this AI tool, the journalists go through lengthy tabular data to draw correlations with other influencing parameters, their previous occurrences, the highs and the lows of the parameters to be compared. This can now be output as a narrative story by AI and presented to the journalist within seconds. The last point, sentiment evaluation. Based on the content, language, and its associated metrics, this AI tool helps in rating the sentiments of the content as happy, sad, positive, or negative. This helps us in placing the content at the right place and in appropriate sentimental quantity. Example, you do not want to place all or too much negative or similar content on the same page. Let's look at different tools evaluated, tried, and implemented by our company, BCCL Times Group, and which are also being used by other publishing houses across the world. Here, we evaluated the ANLG technology, that is Advanced Natural Language Generation technology, from a US-based company to automate content writing from structured data versus the story actually written by the journalist based on the same data. This technology works very well with structured data, such as annual reports, financial market stories, commodity market stories, sports scores, wherever the data is in tabular format. Whereas the human journalist took more than 1 hour to create the story due to manual analysis of data and then writing a report on it, ANLG took a few seconds for producing automated narratives of the same. Let's see the amazing result, where a human written story is on the left side, while the AI created one is on the right side. The highlighted ones are the minor differences which were there due to the interpretation and while testing. Next initiative which we implemented was as part of our mobility solution to the journalist on the field. We introduced the speech to text feature for our language dailies. This was highly appreciated by the journalists, and it is being used to file stories into the enterprise editorial workflow system. Leading media organizations across the world are using these AI tools for their newsroom. Let's preview a few of them. ReporterMate is the AI software used by The Guardian to auto-write content from structured data using ANLG, what we saw and what we had tried. It is used to write content for finance, sports, and election results. This is similar to what we tried in our organizations. The next tool is from BBC and it's called Juicer, which auto tags stories from BBC and other news sites and groups them in 4 major categories like places, persons, things to draw inferences, occurrences, and produce the content for their news readers.
The Juicer is a tool from BBC News Lab for semantic news analysis. It starts by taking content from BBC News Online, BBC World Service, and other sources, including The Telegraph, The Mirror, The Huffington Post. This content mostly takes the form of articles, but it can take the form of image metadata or video metadata. For example, for videos we might use the subtitles, or even we might use speech-to-text translation to extract the transcript for the show. And then we take that content and we do our processing on it. That's the juicing. It uses a technique called NLP, which is natural language processing, to find entities, that is, people, places, organizations, and other concepts within the text. So these are articles within the Juicer, and you can see here the people and places that have been tagged and extracted from this article. We store that format a couple of different ways. One is the triple store. It uses a format of subject, predicate, object. Look for co-occurrences between concepts. For example, you might look up Vladimir Putin and Ukraine and see what other people, places, and other intangible concepts appear. The other format we use is Elasticsearch, which allows us to do complex queries combining similar queries with multiple different tags and to show us results for them over time, for example, how often those co-occurrences have occurred. Hopefully you found that a useful overview of the Juicer and how you might be able to use it to do queries.
Did you ever face the problem of too long didn't read when someone sent you a huge document? If yes, then TLDR is a solution which summarizes long content into bulleted briefs. They even have a Twitter handle, an AI assistant, where you can tweet them the content link to get it summary. Facebook too is experimenting with this summary tool. Let's have a look at it. I'm sure that was very interesting, all these 3 use cases. And some of the other tools used by world's other leading publishers are as mentioned, New York Times, Washington Post, Bloomberg, and Forbes. Let's get into the third area, key interest area of distribution of news. Once the content is gathered, verified, enriched, and produced, then the next step is to deliver it to the right audience and on the right platform. AI tools play a very important role in the delivery of content to their audience in different ways. Personalized content. AI tools help personalize content delivery based on his or her choice in real time. This allows the audience to mark filters to pull relevant content he or she is interested in. AI does this through the learned preferences of the respective audience. The next very interesting area is robojournalism. Robojournalism based news anchors who can tirelessly provide 24/7 news. It's an exciting application of AI in content distribution is in the field of TV news anchors and reporting. China and Japan have introduced robojournalism in their TV news channels. It is done through some interesting technology innovation using AI. Let's hear it.
Number 1 is the male Chinese AI anchor whose voice and appearance are based and copied from the original Xinhua news anchor whose name is Xin Hao. Take a look.
我是今天刚入职新华社的人工智能中文主持人，我的外形和声音来自新华社主播邱浩，但我从来不用休息人脸识别、人脸建模、语音合成以及深度学习等多项人工智能技术将我铸造。
Number 2 is another very lifelike Chinese female AI news anchor. Her name is Xin Xiaomeng, and she is considered to be the world's first female news anchor from China. And the last one is another Chinese male AI news anchor.
Hello, everyone. I'm an English artificial intelligence anchor. This is my very first day in Xinhua News Agency. My voice and appearance are modeled on Zhang Zhao, a real anchor with Xinhua. The development of the media industry calls for continuous innovation and deep integration with the international advanced technologies. Hanam's participation in the ongoing China International Import Expo is showing its potential as a port of entry for China into Latin America.
Wow, isn't that exciting? But wait till you get too excited about the application of such a technology in real world. The one I'm going to show you is a deepfake video created for demonstrative purpose. This particular face recognition technology is being misused to spread disinformation by creating deepfake videos. So let's have a look at the demonstrative video done by Jordan Peele and other by BBC.
By feeding a complicated computer program millions of images and sound bites, it can learn to do this.
President Trump is a total and complete dip. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele.
It's called a deepfake. Today, with just a little facial mapping and powerful artificial intelligence, these sophisticated machine learning techniques are becoming accessible to people who don't necessarily have massive movie-making budgets. Usually, deepfakes are created to make unique videos. Deepfakes could very well be used against the US by hostile actors. Elections, political campaigns, and national security could all be at risk.
How we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of up dystopia.
We know there are people out there that are trying to divide society, influence elections, and we know this capacity exists. So it's only logical that at some point someone's going to take the next step and sort of weaponize it.
But don't fret. The U.S. Department of Defense is already working on ways to uncover whether a video or photo has been doctored in any way.
Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. It's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources.
This one is a deepfake from BBC.
Obviously, you would never find fakery on the BBC, and I would never mislead you. As you can see, I'm now ready for Strictly. And I think you'll agree, I'm an obvious winner. Okay, so I confess, and you may possibly have suspected, that wasn't me. The sequence you just saw was created by visual artist Eric Drass, who explores the effects of technology on our understanding of truth.
So this is created using a piece of software that learns your face, what's known as deepfake. The software itself comes from the internet, downloaded for free, and if you've got a teenager with a super powerful gaming computer in their bedroom, that's just the kind of kit you need to do this kind of fakery.
Right.
Deepfake is generally used for pornographic clips. You take the face of a famous actress and you map it onto the body of a pornographic star, and you send that out. Secret sex tape.
Oh, well, I'm delighted you haven't decided to do that with it. It immediately seems to be, well, I can put someone in a compromising position, I can blackmail someone.
Absolutely. That clip of Obama, we enjoy the fact that it sounds like him and looks like him, but we know it's not because of what he says. Whereas if you make it something plausible, it's much more likely to spread. And we all live in our own filter bubbles and tend to share content that we agree with. So if I see a politician I hate saying something objectionable, I'm much more likely to pass it on to my friends and believe that it's true because my own worldview is being supported.
And do we have any defence against that?
The best defence is to remain suspicious.
Turn the light out, say goodnight. No thinking for a little while. We'll hide away in a fake empire.
So the best defense is to remain suspicious. It is so important to verify the news sources when you watch something like that before propagating it on social media and messaging apps. We should depend only on reliable sources of news distribution while we consume the news. So let's get into the last key interest area and the most important, commercialization opportunities. Because AI tools can cater to any specific need of the customer and audience in real time, it will lead to audience growth. New user acquisitions using AI tools will also lead to new revenue streams that may come up in future. For example, new platforms will evolve to monetize content, syndicate content from a plethora of channels of information efficiently. Reducing costs. We have seen that AI tools automate the entire process of content gathering, enriching, verifying, and finally distributing it efficiently. It helps streamline the entire process with minimum manual intervention, helps in saving time, better utilization of people into qualitative news delivery in the long run. There are a lot of challenges currently, and the major challenges are in adoption of AI. AI is a relatively new technology and disruptive at that, and hence to implement these in an organization, there are challenges, mainly two types: management and technical. There's a management and user reluctance to adopt, fear of unknown, pressure to maintain status quo. The technical part of it is understanding unstructured data by AI. There are lack of tools to analyze unstructured data, although structured data can be done very nicely with AI. Challenges will be overcome with time as the technology matures and the anxiety of technology overtaking humans dies down. People will find new use cases of AI to help and satisfy both businesses and their customers. Let us look at some of the exciting new emerging AI tools in future, like GPT-3, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer 3.
GPT-3 is the most powerful language model ever built. Let's compare. The model has 175 billion parameters. To put that figure into perspective, OpenAI turns the table by releasing a model that is 10 times larger than Turing NLG. GPT-3 is largely being recognized for its language capabilities. When properly primed by a human, it can write creative fiction. Researchers say that GPT-3's samples are not just close to a human level, they demonstrate an ability to handle abstractions like style parodies, write poems, etc. They also said that chatting with a GPT-3 feels very similar to chatting with a human. It can also generate functioning code. In the latest news, GPT-3 is an extremely sophisticated text predictor. A human gives it a chunk of text as input and the model generates its best guess as to what the next chunk of text should be. It can then repeat this process until it reaches a length limit. But how does GPT-3 go about generating these predictions? The answer to that question is that it has ingested effectively all of the text available on the internet. The output it generates is language that it calculates to be a statistically plausible response to the input it is given based on everything that humans have previously published online.
There are always pitfalls of trying out technology too fast. GPT-3 is still evolving and learning to interact with humans in real time. Let me share one such technology blooper during the testing of a medical chatbot chatting with a patient suffering from mental health issues and depression. Although it may sound funny, but it can have serious implications. This is how the interaction between a healthcare chatbot and the patient went. So far, so good. Now, this is where we head into the dangerous territory. Technology in critical areas need to be foolproof and without such bloopers. Okay, so let's summarize and recap as to how AI and journalists will collaborate in future and coexist to become more efficient. We can't ignore the human angle while we adopt AI in journalism.
The rise of artificial intelligence technology is transforming journalism. This doesn't mean that newsrooms will become empty and offices filled up with smart machines. In fact, the adoption of AI in newsroom is creating new editorial roles and make them tech-savvy and AI-aware journalists. The future will look a lot more like a new form of collaboration between humans and machines. We have seen in this presentation, AI can help journalists generate text directly from the structured data, find hidden insights within video footage, transcribe interviews in real time, and much more. Although AI may involve sophisticated algorithms, it can still make mistakes. That's why insights generated through AI should be thought of as compass that can guide journalism. Advancements in computing with smart algorithms may lead us to believe that the world can be quantified. Yet, if everything can be boiled down to numbers, we can easily lose sight of human nature. Therefore, it's important now more than ever to put humans at the center of the process. Applying AI to journalism is about surrounding human reporters with AI as assistants that can augment their abilities. The art of storytelling is the very fabric of journalism. It's what lets us connect and relate to others. Journalists will always be needed to construct narratives through which we understand the human experience, and embracing artificial intelligence can help and equip them with new set of tools to uncover the truth.
Thank you all for being with me and your participation. Take care and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Beg. It was very wonderful talk. Especially you have structured it in a wonderful way so that the audience can actually understand what is the technology and what are the practical aspects of it and how media people are using it. So you have highlighted everything in a very structured manner. Yeah, thank you so much, sir. In fact, you have shown us a lot of examples in terms of videos. It was wonderful. Basically, Times Group is also, it's very happy to see that Times Group is also using many of the technologies.
Yes.
And you have demonstrated the same. Thank you for that, sir. I think audience will have some questions. Let's see. I will read out the question for you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Mr. Basil Jose want to ask how AI in journalism will affect the integrity and the real content of the news. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the essence of my presentation was not to put AI as a replacement for journalists. Okay, the journalist will always be required. I have I have said in my first slide the key interest area, that is assisted news gathering. AI will be used as an assistant, okay, to the journalist, and it will automate all those manual tasks which the journalists were doing earlier, and they were getting less time on their creative work, like writing a nice report and all. So half of their time was going away in all this manual work. So once they get all these insights ready made, they can build up a very good story. They can rewrite the story. AI is just a pointer that the data is like this and this is the narrative. And finally, before the news has to be published, the sub editors and all, they will have to proofread it, cross check it, and then publish it. So AI is not going to replace journalists. I don't think in the near future. Maybe five to 10 years down the line, when GPT-3 type of technologies come mature and they are made available to the general public.
Yeah.
I hope I have answered that.
Yeah. Just to add to that, I think Bates' last slide was stressing the role of humans at the center and AI bots as the assistants, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Shall we have?
So thanks for that nice talk. This is Deepak. So have you seen? You talked about AI freeing up time for journalists to engage more in the work that they would like to engage in or they're best at engaging in. But have you seen? Have you sensed any kind of job losses in the journalism industry due to AI? In the sense like more people, when you bring automation, typically there would be more redundancies, right? More job losses or something. So so have you sensed any of that yet, or not quite, or is it working like what you anticipate it to be, in the form of producing better journalism by allowing people to spend more time on the tasks that they're best at?
Yeah. So I think I don't think that straight away it is a replacement technology for the journalists, and that's what stressed in my presentation. So it is more of a assistant help, in whatever manual work they were doing. So for instance, we tried the ANLG technology, wherein there are those public databases wherein the journalist has to download those database files, and let's say Economic Times, wherein they have to compare the macroeconomic parameters, what that was 6 months back, what that was 1 year back as compared to today. And it takes a lot of time to do this manual analysis. And that, I think, when we tried that tool of ANLG, the reporter was taking about close to 1 hour, one or 2 hours to get the analysis done. So the AI narratives, the generated was within few seconds, and the journalist was he used those insights into writing a very good story later on. Okay, so nowhere I think news organizations are thinking it as a direct replacement for the journalist. Okay.
And it doesn't function like because of the automation, the job of 2 people can now be done by 1 person, or the job of 5 people can now be done by 4 people. You haven't seen that kind of thing happening, isn't
I
it?
think at most people would be reallocated, those who are doing these manual jobs into better, content enriching and better jobs.
And one just follow-up question. So I mean, obviously there are people in the big media houses like yourself who are very much aware of the technology. But is there a good awareness about how about the details of the technology? Not quite the internal details, but the sense of like what does the technology do, or what does it or I mean, in the sense like a little bit of awareness about what about how to use it, or what it does, or what it is making use of in terms of making its judgments and so on. So are journalists in general aware of these things? And
Yeah, they are very much aware. And initially, when I went to some few of them, they were reluctant to try the very idea of this. But when they found the value in it, and they agreed to try it. So initial reluctance would be there. Once they understand that it is not against them. So it is more of helping them in creating better content enrichment and all. So they would welcome this technology.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions from the audience? Feel free to type anything on the chat box and we can pick it up.
So there is a chance that there could be new job roles coming, right? And new kind of maybe job roles are coming, and there is a chance that you may recruit more and more people, right? So what is your take in that?
Yeah. So the future recruitments might be AI aware journalists, who know how to use AI, to their benefit. So they may not recruit conventional type of people, but they would certainly recruit the tech savvy and AI aware journalists for sure. Anything which the operational efficiency can be improved.
Exactly. Yeah. I think we are. Yeah. So I would like to thank once again Farooq Baig for your excellent presentation, and the organizers actually wanted to say a big thanks to the Times Group as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we look into maybe future avenues to collaborate with your great organization. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
With us.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
All
Thank
the
you so
best.
much.
Thanks.